Welcome to the latest edition of New Haven Hidden Vlog News Summary, direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we're working on at this hour. Well, I got my Go Connecticut bus pass, which these days means ride for free because the machine's always breaking to read it. Well, we can no longer get bus passes on the green. On January 3rd, they closed the kiosk for the public. They moved it around the corner a couple blocks away on Church Street, which made no sense, on January 5th. But they've already closed it because even though it's 2025, not 1925, they didn't have any wheelchair accessibility. So the whole thing's a mess. Department of Transportation, I don't even know why they put it there because that location is blocks away for someone where they would get the bus. They had a good reason for moving it. People who work in the kiosk need more heat and they need a place to go to the bathroom. I think they could have spent less money and served the public by arranging with 900 Chapel Street to let them use the bathroom across the street, and maybe a space heater. Meanwhile, they're spending a lot of money fixing up the green. Let's get the kiosk back. Well, wherever they put it, they want to get some toilet paper stock because people do need to go to the bathroom. It's a working issue and for the public. So here's another thing I don't understand about the Department of Transportation's decisions in New Haven. They're spending close to $100 million renovating the State Street train station. They're spending all that money with no bathrooms. They say they need longer platforms to get more trains. They also say they need to make the platforms more sturdy. I'm not sure they're always spending money intelligently, and sometimes maybe there could be less money and just put in a bathroom. Well, activist Gaylord Salters, who puts out this t-shirt, says we should murder the myths in New Haven. One myth got murdered this week, that you can't have democracy and challenge people in power. In the 92nd State Legislative District, Pat Dillon has been the Democratic state representative since 1984 and a hardworking, smart representative. Two young, intelligent, hardworking people in their 20s and 30s, Eli Sabin and Justin Farmer, have begun making moves to challenge her in a primary this year. Democracy is great, and this election is bringing up a bigger question that the Democratic Party is wrestling with, and in politics in general in the country, is age versus new energy versus experience. Some people say that legislators, especially baby boomers, those of us in the Medicare generation, stay in power too long, and you need younger people who understand how the world works now and have fresh energy. Other people, including Justin Farmer, who's one of the young people running, say that that's too simplistic. You got to look at every case and see is the person still effective, because experience helps you be a legislator too. So we'll play it out in this primary, and here's one thing to look for to see about that question. At what point do legislators feel they own a seat and they don't have to be as accountable? A big way you could tell is if they participate in debates. One thing Pat Dillon always did, because she's so smart, is participate in debates even if people running against her had no chance. So the public got to see her every 2 years answering questions on her feet, and she always won those debates. In recent years, she, unlike some of her colleagues, but like others, has not debated. So hooray for a great race with a lot of good people running for office. Let's hope there is debate and full democracy. Well, a property owner in an industrial part of Fairhaven by the Mill River wanted to bring soccer and volleyball to an undeveloped lot on Haven Street. It needed zoning permission to do that because we have way too many zoning rules in this city. The zoning board voted 3-2 not to let them open an athletic facility for sports on this Fairhaven lot, just because they would. Just because they could do it, and somebody in particular didn't want it there, and they thought the owner should do something else with the property that they're not going to do. Is there any better example than this, or most of the votes of the zoning board, to just get rid of most zoning and just stick to protecting public health and safety? Well, that's part of a broader effort to be a city, yes, where we can have more ribbon cuttings and let people pursue their dreams and ideas without trying to set so many rules based on what a few people who are drunk on their own power decide people should and shouldn't do. Luckily, there's a new City of Yes campaign that just started for 2026. Alder Caroline Tamby-Smith and others, as people have gone through the process of starting a business. And everyone agrees there's too much red tape rather than ribbons to cut that have to do with overlapping state and local laws, for instance, and regulations. It doesn't have to do with the goodwill of the people who work for the city. They work hard and no one's mad at them. But this campaign is trying to change the way we do business, not charge more than other cities for getting your permits, not having to go through all these steps you already went with the state to get certain permits. So let's say yes in 2026. Till next time, this New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. Remember, let's always pick up our trash and recycle it while we still can.